I think epic fantasy was my first introduction to the scary ghouls and beasts that populate the underworld. In fact, epic fantasy monster slaying is a tradition that goes way back beyond the modern series of novels we so enjoy today. Pre-Sanderson, pre-Brooks, pre-Tolkien, we had poets like Homer sending heroes off on fantastical quests in which a few heads always needed to be chopped off. And these heads did not always belong to man, no sir. For the ancient practice of monster fighting to be consistently successful, writers needed to come up with scarier monsters, scale them up a bit, and come up with scarier monsters they did. Some are massively influential, others simply monumental, but in the end, as long as they're causing problems and being wicked cool, I'm happy. Hello horror heads and welcome back to the Scariest channel on YouTube, Top 5 Scary Videos. I'm your horror host Keegan Hughes and today we're counting down the top 5 scariest monsters from epic fantasy. Grab your longsword and find yourself a wizened old master of magic because these things do not get taken down easily. Before we begin, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe for more ancient atrocities. Outstanding, let's get started. Squeezing its way in at number 5, we have Golem from Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time series. What's the scariest profession you can think of? And I don't mean the job you're most scared to work, I mean the career that makes somebody a terrifying person. Maybe a chef at a popular restaurant that gets a little too packed in sometimes, or maybe a loan shark. But the real answer, unless we're considering the famous man-child Leon, would have to be an assassin. A human assassin is already incredibly terrifying for their ability to dispatch entire lives at the drop of a hat, but now consider this: liquid demon assassin. Yeah, that's a golem. These assassins were literally created with the sole purpose of being extremely hard to kill and taking out channelers. During the War of Power, these monstrosities were created to take down powerful folk with very little trouble. A bird must fly, a man must breathe, a golem must kill. That's just the way it is. Looking like regular people, a golem can catch you off guard. Getting in a fight with one is a bad call, which you will find out soon enough. They're super strong and entirely boneless. Having 0 bones is a great benefit in combat, given that you become much more flexible and shock absorbent. And also, when you're sneaking around. They can make use of their rubbery bodies to sneak through cracks in doorways and other small entrances regular people just would not have access to. So imagine this. It's 2 a.m. You're a channeler minding your own business in a locked room. You're turning the events of the day over in your head and all of a sudden you hear a squishy noise. At first nothing seems to be there, but soon the icy shock of horror washes over your body. There is a rubber person forcing their way through the centimeter-wide crack beneath your door. They're gonna tear your limbs off, and they're gonna drink your blood. And they're gonna smile about it too. You can't attack them with conventional weapons, and they are immune to the one power. That is bone chilling, or no bone chilling. And don't feel too safe if you're a regular non-channeling person. Just because they're focused on them doesn't mean that they won't tear out your throat and imbibe in your fluids. They need blood to live. Thankfully only 6 were made and most have been lost to time. Still though, Gumby never seemed so mind-shattering. Number 4, the Jattrea from Terry Brooks' Shannara Chronicles. You don't want to mess with Jattrea. These ancient beasts were sealed away for a reason. Nobody wanted to deal with their bloodthirsty insanity anymore. But, as is the case with most dark forces, they could not be kept down. The Mord Wraiths used their magic within the Wolfsdag to release these ruthless avengers, and off the Jattrea went to destroy and maim and kill. Just the looks of these beasts is enough to make your blood run cold. Man-shaped beasts with predatory faces and blood-red skin. Thick, bristly fur about their loins. A cry that sounds more like jubilant, unhinged laughter than anything else. Filled with poison that damages both the body and the soul. These beasts relish pain and feed on the lifeblood of their opponents. The more insanity and agony they cause, the more they thrive. It's no wonder they were able to achieve the unspeakable by, well, I'm not going to spoil anything, but let's just say a major player would much rather he never laid eyes upon these ferocious fiends. Coming in at number 3, the Voidbringers from Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight Archive. You know something's bad news when you see a name like this. Voidbringer. It has a wicked ring to it. It delivers empty space, terror and uncertainty. Where once stood life, now there is the void. These legendary creatures of the ancient desolations are the reason the shard blades are carried. 20-foot horrors of rock and flame with eyes burning full of hatred cannot be taken down by conventional weapons. There are many theories as to how the Voidbringers came about. Some say they were formed in damnation, created from hatred, the destined opposite to the Almighty, meant to keep balance. Others claim they're just stories meant to scare children. Even more intriguing is the idea that they're related to or even part of the Parshendi hordes, that the singing couple fighting people on the plains might have monsters among them. I won't go any deeper than that in the interest of remaining as spoiler free as I can, but that also adds to the mystery and the terror of the Voidbringers. If you can't be sure what they are, how do you fight against them? Are they really monolithic stone and fire people out there waiting to erase you from the waking world? Slithering in at number 2, we've got the Cathaeh from Patrick Rothfuss's Kingkiller Chronicles. Another mysterious monster lurking in the shadows, causing problems for as many people as possible. The Cathaeh is seen by the Fae as the most horrible and malicious being out there. People literally get killed just for coming in contact with it. Seriously, the Fae are so afraid of the chaos and discord it can sow that they pick people off with longbows for coming too close. And then they leave the bodies to rot. And if anything else touches that body, they kill it too. And if by some miracle somebody gets away, they'll track them down, kill all bystanders, and burn the surroundings to the ground. If the Fae, a powerful magical people, have such fear in their hearts related to the Cathaeh, you have to assume it's the real deal. In layman's terms, it's basically Satan, the serpent at the tree of knowledge. This seemingly invisible being dwells in the branches of the great tree. Is it trapped? Forced to stay there? It's hard to say. But if anyone approaches, the Cathaeh will speak to them. Through this conversation, it reveals a sort of omniscience about the world, as well as the life of their visitor. A good being with this kind of power, say like a Mother Agra type, could use his power to help, right? Well, the Cathaeh is poisonous, hateful, and contagious, and therefore uses this future sight to choose the worst possible outcomes for as many people as possible. It's thought that this toxic tree hugger has caused many of the greatest tragedies in the history of Temerant. It spoke to Jax prior to him stealing the moon, which was a major factor in the start of the Creation War. It also influenced the great warrior Lanra before he betrayed Myrtariniel, giving rise to the Chandrian. Can I say that out loud? Am I gonna get my throat slit by the roadside? To make matters even worse, the flowers on the great tree are a sort of panacea and will heal all wounds. This attracts desperate folks who hear the terrible future that awaits them, causing them to become even more desperate than they were before. In the end, if you want to know just how terrifying this thing is, just look at the reactions of friendly Fae. Both Bass and Felurian were entirely taken aback at the tale of meeting the Cathaeh and expressed their fear in unique but horrifying ways. Forbidden knowledge is forbidden for a reason. And finally at number 1, Morgoth. The biggest bad in the most famous epic fantasy series out there. Sauron pledged allegiance to this terror, if that tells you anything. Morgoth, once known as Melkor, was the most powerful of the ancient Ainur. He rebelled against his creator and fell through jealousy, pride, and a hatred of others. Able to take on any form he chose, Morgoth towered over lesser beings. Throughout his reign, he was able to wage many wicked wars with beasts of his own creation. Balrogs, dragons, wraiths, werewolves, vampires, orcs, all under his command. The most terrifying beasts of Middle-earth were made by him or chose to align with him. Even the light-eating spider broodmother, the Ungoliant, teamed up with Morgoth. He was that powerful. Morgoth was able to disperse most of his innate power into the fabric of the world itself. This is the reason the world is full of pain, suffering, and cruelty. He wanted to make the universe an extension of himself, and was largely successful at this. However, he also doomed himself by doing this. By spreading his power too wide, he became trapped in his physical body. His legions still followed him and protected him, but his corporeal form was weak, and eventually this led to his downfall. Had he reined it in just a little, the world of Middle-earth would be much more terrifying. Still though, he single-handedly introduced entire new concepts to a world, and his legacy lived on through Sauron and his many followers. Brutal and horrible. Morgoth. Doesn't that make you want to go and read an entire series of books again? Like just plow through thousands of pages in one sitting? Well, maybe not that much all at once, you gotta live the rest of your life, but you get it. What do you think of the list? Did I touch on enough beastly baddies? Are there any monsters from fantasy you'd like to see on a list? Make sure you let me know down in the comments. Speaking of comments, let's take a look at some of your more weaponized ones from Top 5 Scariest Horror Manga You Have to Read, Part 3. Honestly, these first comments, I'm not even going to read them out loud. I just want you guys to appreciate the polar opposite reactions one comment apart. Like I found these stacked on top of each other. The duality of man. The Art Kit asks, how does Gantz become a movie? Cutting out all the other content? Yes. Arngir says, forget Boruto. If you want a real horror, go for Azumanga Ah! Meryl King says, I'm thinking about reading Chainsaw Man. I love Chainsaw Man, but I think it's just a little too funny and like shonen-y to make it on this list. Still, highly recommend. And Marth Fador says, scared of lollies and like horror manga? Magical Girls of the Apocalypse. Get on it. See, that's where I draw the line. I've heard enough about it to be forever nervous about starting it up, so we'll see. And that's all the time we have for today. Before I start my career as a rodeo clown, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe for more epic adventures. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.